Here's a little glimpse of what Roothy gets up to when he's left alone for too long. She probably thinks she'll be in for a nice relaxed time. Not likely, not if my territory mates have anything to do with it. Quiet drives in the bush and long days down the beach relaxing. Big goal today is to find a place called Spring Creek, because my gut feeling is that could be a very special place. It's on the mud map I got from McKinley, but there doesn't look like there's a lot of mud around here. I don't care, that track up there looks tighter and steeper, and that could mean some fun. Anyway, you never know, if we get to Spring Creek, we might get a bath. While I will just walk up here, look, it's got buckets of clearance. Milo's eating this hill thanks to the Gearmaster low ratios, and you can really see the difference when you see how size 12HT handles the same climb. Big tyres emphasise the gap between the gears and she jumps to a stop. 12HTs are notoriously sensitive on the pedal. Milo 2's got the same problem. Meanwhile, the automatic Jeep pegs away at this stuff easy. I don't know what's happening up top of the fridge. It's going to be nice and clean by the time we get it to Mark and Shay. Here's your new fridge. We'll go back and get the lid later. You can tell a track hasn't been driven much when the scrub's closing you in. I'm not even sure if we're on the right track, but the direction's right, sort of. You know what I was saying about tracks running out? Well, look at this. 1 minute we've got an old track, the next minute we've got a mine and a mullock heap. Get a load of the deposits in there. Look at all the green, all that copper. This is all pretty fresh. That's really fresh. So maybe this mine was still operating fairly recently. Wouldn't surprise me. That's beautiful rock. Oh well, we need to find another way out of here. Once again, the trees are screaming water, and I'm thinking this might be Spring Creek. Whatever, it sure is a special place. There's a connection to country you can feel in your bones. People have been coming here for thousands of years because somewhere up that gully there's a natural spring that had rarely run dry. How amazing is our country? In the middle of miles of dry land, Mother Nature's looking after us by keeping a tap turned on. Not enough for a swim, but... Now all this private land is owned by the McDonald family, but they're proud of their country and they don't mind people travelling through as long as they do the right thing. It's a big place though, and the only person we meet is the manager Craig. Turns out we were nowhere near Spring Creek, but Craig tells us we'd have a better chance at Fountain Springs anyway. Thanks mate, nothing like local knowledge. Let's go! Days and days of dry, dusty heat and in the middle of this drought, in the middle of this country, and we found it. We finally found one of nature's little bolt holes. This is Fountain Springs, and you can imagine what it's like in the rain, in the wet, with water pouring down there and crashing waterfalls. But even now, this time of year in the middle of a drought, and the water is beautiful. And we're having fun. Sun's going down. I think we've got about an hour. Grab some firewood, maybe have a cook-up.
That sounds good. Have a swim.
I think you've done very well.
So far, so good.
Done a whole lot better than you had. By the time the sun sets, we've pulled up near the old town of Ballara. It's been a big day and it's time for a feed. It's going to be pretty simple, this, but it's going to be delicious. And it's going to feed a lot of people in a big hurry, even with a gidgee fire. Get a little bit of heat on. Some olive oil, fair bit of olive oil. Onions. In they go. Curry powder, of course. Not too much, just enough. Get into it. And this stove, as you know, builds up heat really quickly, so I don't have to muck around. What we've got here is lamb. Good old Aussie lamb. In she goes. All we want to try and achieve here is a little bit of brown into the lamb, because the whole idea is to slow cook it. Just about there now. And of course, got to add some soy sauce. How much soy sauce, you ask? Lots, say I. Vegetar, something I learnt down in the high country. Soy sauce and Vegetar. All strong flavours, all the flavours we want. And at this stage, time to put in some chicken stock. Why chicken stock into lamb? Because it's what we got. There we go. What else would you add to something like this? Well, of course, you need some veggies. We've already done our carrots and spuds, so in they go. Quite a lot of them. We've got some celery, absolutely glorious. We've got some beans. Green means healthy, okay? That's why Milo's green. So we'll put all these little Milos in there. Beautiful. Look at that, already there's a pot of food here that's enough to feed 4 hungry blokes and Kazza. Because it's me, it's got to have some garlic in. Good old swag of garlic. Couple of lots. That should keep everyone out of the cold and save me some garlic for tomorrow. I want to add the magic ingredient for lamb. Mint jelly. As if we're not sweet enough, a little bit of honey. That'll do. Some fresh chilli and some fresh, oh, you know what this stuff's called? Rosemary. Always works well with lamb, okay? It's unusual for me to have anything fresh at all. I didn't. I pinched it out of the 60. Oh boy, we got a full pot of food there. I'm going to put the lid on and I'm going to knock up a cup of Gravox. Okay, I've come back with my Gravox. I've got it all stirred up. There's about 3 or 4 tablespoons in a big coffee mug. And I did take the coffee out first, for once. You know what? That's the most ingredients I've ever used in a meal, ever, bar none. Let's hope it works. It's easy now, because even in our gidgee fire, it's going to cook. You know, how long does it need to sit in the fire? I'm estimating 2 beers. Possibly 3. And I can hear it bubbling away. It's going to be perfect.
Very nice.
Thank you. Come back in 2 beers' time. We'll see how it goes. I reckon it's time to eat. Oh, I can hear it bubbling away. All I need is some victims. Come on, Kazza.
Really good.
Oh, he's not putting his beer down for it.
Looks good. Thanks, mate.
On you, mate. Thank you for your efforts today.
How many ingredients?
2,476, mate. A new world record. Matt, you'd have to go the big bowl, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'll have a big bowl. Thanks. Looks good.
Looks great. Even with a pile of gidgee and a bunch of mates and a whole heap of ingredients, you can make something that is so much better. Hey, even I reckon that's good, and I cooked it. On you guys. Excuse us, we got to eat. The boys have gone to town for the day, but I want to go exploring. There was a lot of mining up the back hills in the old days, and I've got to have a look.
So what town have the boys gone to?
Mount Isa, I reckon. Yeah, it's a big place. They'll get the batteries and stuff they need there. That leaves us free to play for the day.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Good old Milo.
She's a cool old truck.
Oh, she is, darling. This is the old railway. See, it would have run, you know that wall we came past back there?
Yeah.
Well, the railway would have run on top of that and followed all the way through here. And I think it's about 1914, 15, so First World War times, and they're mining copper up at a place called Wee McGregor, and they had a 2-foot gauge train, a little steam train, tiny little steam train, to bring the copper ore from Wee McGregor all the way down. You remember that big concrete slab we saw down at Ballara?
Yeah.
Near where we camped? Well, that was actually the platform where they took it from the 2-foot and put it onto the 3'6", the wider gauge train. But they built this they did all this work, all this concreting and rock stacking and everything else to get the copper out of the mine. This track takes us, pretty much follows the old railway line. It's going to be fun. I love this. Look at this, Kaz. Get a load of this. It's got a little bit of lock-up. Bang! Good old Milo. Oh, look at this. In memory of those who lay here. Thomas Tame, 37, asphyxiated by powder fumes. Harold Vincent Gordon Knight, accidentally drowned. Connors, bucket fell down shaft. Heat stroke, labourer, Hugh White, 44. 1915, 1916, accidentally drank ant poison. Broken neck, fractured skull. Oh, dear.
Tragic, isn't it?
All mining accidents, all getting the copper out of the ground.
Well, why did they need so much copper?
Gee, you picked the right time to ask that, you know. You're talking the First World War, and they used so much copper for shell casings. So these guys died so that guys over in England could die too, in the First World War. It's amazing, isn't it? By the Great Depression, by 26, 27, 28, no one's buying anything, and they didn't need copper, so people left, and that was it, the end of town. All gone. Just left for us to come and have a look. I don't know, you've got to put it in context, haven't you? You know, every one of those deaths would have been a tragedy, and yet at the same time there's 60,000 men a day dying on the Somme and places like that. And someone once said that one death is a tragedy and 50,000 is a statistic. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's hard. I felt for every one of those guys,
Yeah.
because I know blokes, all those causes of deaths, you know, that's what used to happen when we were mining. Same things. Righto, let's go find that tunnel they reckon's up here somewhere. Are we having fun yet?
Are we there yet?
Are we there yet? Whoa!
Whoa!
Everywhere you look, there's signs of tunnelling and dirt shifting. Oh, Milo's right at home. Rock and roll!
Gonna go out the window. You'll have to try a bit harder than that,
Oh, okay. Is that a challenge?
No.
Is that a challenge? Oh! Sorry, old girl. Not you, the truck. I think this is where we walk. This looks like the tunnel. Pretty amazing effort, eh? Digging this. I don't know.
Oh, cats.
Yeah,
In the back.
there they are, the back cave. Look, there's a whole colony of them. Wow.
Back into the heat.
Oh, yeah. I reckon the mine must be up here though somewhere.
Check it out.
100 years ago.
It's not that long ago, really, is it?
It's not, is it? This was the site of the Wee McGregor mine, and it would have been buzzing back in 1917. Back near that cemetery at Heightville, there was a pub, a school and a post office in the day, but it all fell through by the 1920s. That's just a dot on the timeline in this ancient land. After a good look around, me and the Handbrake went back to camp to see if the lads had cooked us dinner. Ah, what a beaut day.